More of the Zach Gelb Show on Fox Sports 920 The Jersey.
All right, welcome back in. Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920 The Jersey. 609-919-9200 is the number as always. We're getting closer and closer to game day on Saturday between Navy and Temple. AAC Championship is on the line. I can't wait to get down to Annapolis, Maryland for that noon game. And if you can't make it down, make sure to watch it on ABC. Two really good teams in an underrated conference in the American Athletic Conference. And now joining us is the head coach of Navy, and that's Niumatalolo. Coach, congratulations. Thanks for a few minutes, and how are you?
No problem, Zach. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you for coming on. So we always know with your football team, the men on your football team are going to have great integrity because it's more than just football at Navy. Tell me a little bit about the character and specifically the resiliency of your players.
Well, like you said, I mean, we got good kids on our team that are tough, hard-nosed kids. They're great Americans. But, quite frankly, I see a lot of Temple in us. I mean, just, Matt Rule is a great coach, great man, and just the program that he's running, tough, hard-nosed kids. And so, we feel like we pride ourselves in being tough and disciplined. But as I put on the tape and watch tape of Temple, I see, a very, very similar football team.
I know that there's always a next man up mentality, and injuries are part of this game. But when your quarterback went down and you lost him for the season with the ACL tear, what did you expect out of Will Worth? Because your offense right now, it's been sensational, Coach. Only 2 punts in November. The quarterback in his last 7 games has over 1,000 rushing yards and 20 touchdowns. So how about your quarterback right now?
Zach, he's playing way better than I ever thought he would. You hope that, your players play well. But he's playing, like you said, he's playing at a superb level, just playing really, really well, playing really efficiently. But he's playing spectacular football for us right now. We're very grateful that he's doing that.
When he took over as the quarterback, when was the moment that you thought, okay, we have something here, and this guy's going to be able to have that production that Smith was able to have?
It was definitely the Houston game. To come in, we had a huge loss to Air Force, one of our rivals, and the bounce back versus Houston. They were coming into the game as the number 1 rushing defense in the country, and just the way he played, his composure, his toughness, you just kind of figured then, hey, we got a chance with this kid. He's got a chance to be a special one.
Now, last week, your football team outscored your university's basketball team. That's something that you don't usually see in the sport of college football. On the other end, though, Temple, the team you're going up against defensively, they're a top 3 defense in all of college football. It goes Alabama, Michigan, and then Temple. So this is a great matchup. Prolific offense against a really solid defense. What do you expect out of Temple's defense, Coach?
Well, Coach Snow is a really good football coach. Tough, hard-nosed. They know what they're doing, well-coached, aggressive. So we got to be ready for a tough, hard-nosed game. And it complements their offense. They're 5th in the country in time of possession. They run the football. Obviously, they got, 2 really good backs in Thomas and Armstead. And so they're able to run the football. And, Walker's playing really well at quarterback. So I think, their aggressive defense along with their time of possession offense that's also moving the ball really well. They would score more points if they were up-tempo, but that's not who they are. Some up-tempo teams score more points because they're getting 90 snaps a game. But in the design of their offense, you can tell that's not what they're trying to do. They're trying to be efficient, move the football, time of possession, and they're doing it really well right now.
So then let me ask you this, because you're right. That's a big neutralizer, their offense. That's how they're going to try to keep your offense off the field, and that's how the entire nation has been trying to do it. Your defense, tell me a little bit about them, and what are some matchups you like against this Temple offense?
Well, we thought we played much better in the second half yesterday. This past week. And we're getting better. We've played some really tough offenses, the last 6 weeks or so, and we got another one coming with Temple. And so our guys feel like, they continue to work hard. Micah Thomas is leading our group at linebacker, our leading tackler, Amos Mason up front. And in the secondary, we've got young guys that are working hard. But we know that we got our work cut out for us against a physical, Temple offense.
Usually this is a week for Navy football in your history when you're preparing to get ready for the next week matchup against Army. So this is some uncharted territory for your team. As we mentioned Army, Temple did play Army in the beginning of the season. Army did upset them at Lincoln Financial Field. Even though the Owls didn't have success defending the triple option that day, does that experience help when we talk about this matchup when they see that triple option again coming up on Saturday?
Oh, definitely. I think it helps both teams. We kind of get a sense of maybe what, Temple might try to employ. They may try to do similar things. They might, scrap that all together and come with a new new defensive scheme. But it also obviously helps. So we get to see maybe some ideas, but also it definitely helps your guys. They practice for it all camp. So they go back and familiarize themselves with the package and the defensive schemes they ran against Army. But it's always coaching and football is always a cat and mouse deal. You're always trying to get an edge and find out different things, and we just got to wait and see what happens.
Ken Niumatalolo with us right now on the Zach Gelb Show. You've seen Phillip Walker before. He's been around that Temple program for a long time, being a starter for 4 years. In a walking boot today, but he did say that he practiced and he will play on Saturday. Just how about the quarterback for Temple and Phillip Walker?
Like you said, it seems like he's been there for a decade. He's been there forever. Really good quarterback. He's got all the tools, can throw the football, can run it, makes all the throws. He's got a strong arm, plus he's got touch. Being in the system for all these years allows him to get familiar with stuff. But you can see him in his senior year just so much more comfortable with what he's doing. And again, it's you don't want to play an experienced quarterback. That's the last thing you want to see when you play somebody. But unfortunately for us, Temple's got a good one, and Walker, he's been there for a while and he's playing really well right now.
Coach, I know you say you have great respect for Matt Rule, but really both these programs have great respect for one another. I was at the Philadelphia Sports Writers Association banquet last year. Tyler Medikevich and Keenan Reynolds had a very good relationship. These two programs always going to be forever linked because of Wayne Harden. Just how about the respect mutually, and how much more fun does that make it when you have to play a Temple team on Saturday?
I think you're right, Zach. I think you got two teams that are, tough, hard-nosed, no nonsense. Both teams aren't into all the frills and all the fluff. They're just two teams that like to come on the field and hit each other in the mouth, and they got great respect for each other. And I think, like I said, as we watch them on tape, hopefully they see the same thing from us. Just two teams that are going to strap it on and come play football. Football is still a physical game. I know a lot of people are in the spread and throwing bubble screens and all over the place, but it's still a blocking and tackling and physical football game, and both of us play that way.
Just being around and seeing the growth of Temple football over the last few years, I could tell you, and you know this, Matt's philosophy is establish that run game, a blue-collar atmosphere, and really bringing in guys that aren't the most highly rated recruits in the country and turning out to be pretty darn good players. You look at a Medikevich from a year ago, Hassan Reddick this year. Take me through your philosophy, though, because Navy is a special job. So how did you build up this program?
Very similar principle. Maybe not the highest recruited kid in the world. Tough, hard-nosed kids, got a chip on his shoulder, willing to serve our country. And, an unselfish kid that's willing to come here. It's not always about me and, how many times am I going to catch the ball or how many tackles are going to be designed for me in this defensive scheme. And I think the thing, we both run the football. Obviously, they run it more with the power game. We're an option team. But I think that what the run game does, and both of us have devised, is it travels. It goes in the cold, in the winter, in the early fall. And I think, running the football and the toughness of it translates to success later on the season. And I look at both of our teams, later on the season, we continue to be strong.
USC have a lot of passion for Navy, and Matt has a lot of passion for Temple. And a large reason because of that, it wasn't just a job that you came from a foreign place. You guys were brought up, you and Navy and Matt at Temple. Just tell me about the passion, really, that you have for this great university.
Well, I just love the kids that I coach, and, people might say whatever they want about our country, and I'm sure there's things that, that need to be fixed, but it's still the greatest country in the world. And to have kids that come here, to come to a school that you're going to serve in our military after. It's a voluntary deal. We're not back in the 60s and 70s where they had the draft. And so to have coach these type of guys that are willing to sacrifice so that we can have the freedoms that we do, it just makes you realize, this is a special place.
Selfless players, and then also a senior class that has won a lot of football games. You're down to your last few games with this senior class. What will you remember most about this senior group?
Just how resilient they've been. Coming from last year where we had Keenan Reynolds and a very accomplished senior group, and this senior group didn't get as much accolades or fanfare, but they stayed the course. They stayed humble. They kept their mouth quiet and just worked. We've suffered through some injuries like everybody else, but just proud of how resilient and how tough they've been through the whole course of this season.
Now, Coach, after the Power Five, I think this is the best conference in all of college football. Just the respect level, because there's some people think that the winner of this game should go to the Cotton Bowl. Other people will argue Western Michigan. Just where do you think the respect level is right now for the AAC?
Well, I think people recognize that this is a really, really good conference. Top to bottom, I think is the best in the country. There's a lot of conferences that are top-heavy, but I just think top to bottom we have a really good conference. A lot of us have gone and played Power 5 schools and beaten them, and we talked about that as a group of coaches in off season, just as we try to upgrade the brand of our conference. The only way you can do that is winning. You can have ads and different campaigns to promote your program, but you got to do it on the field, and I think our conference has done that. I think we've proven on the field that we're a really, really good football conference.
Last year we saw Tom's team. They beat Temple in the AAC championship game. They went on to defeat Florida State in the big New Year's Six Bowl. Do you think the winner of this game should be going to the Cotton Bowl?
Well, obviously I'm biased. Yeah, I definitely feel that way. But we leave that to the powers to be. But I think we're the best group of 5 conference, and I think the winner of this conference should definitely go.
So, Coach, before we let you run, if you had to give me the 3 keys to this game, if you want to walk out on Saturday with the American Athletic Conference trophy and Mike Oresco giving you that at the end of the game, what are the 3 keys for your football team to get a victory on Saturday?
Well, they're the same every week for us. Win turnover battle, least amount of penalties. Make sure that we be smart that way, and whoever can establish the run. We got to stop the run, and we got to be able to run the football.
Coach, tremendous job this year. I know you got some more football games ahead of you. Best of luck coming up on Saturday, and we should have a great one. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Zach. Take care.
There he is, Ken Niumatalolo, joining us on the Zach Gelb Show, Fox Sports 920 The Jersey. That should be a fun game on Saturday. Can't wait to get down to Annapolis, Maryland. When we get back, college football talk now goes on the back burner because we got to get back to the birds. Where's your confidence in Doug Peterson? Where's your confidence in Howie Roseman? And Doug Peterson said something very stupid today. We'll get into that next.